All right, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. We have some good news that came out this morning. Now, you probably heard some of the good news, so I'm going to be brief with that, but there's more good news. You probably read the title, you know what it says. 3 new stimulus bills. Today, we're getting word there's 3 new stimulus bills. But most people, when I watched a few different YouTube videos, I've read a few different articles as well, talking about the newest bill that was proposed by 9 senators. I talked about this the other day. I talked about this again this morning. I didn't expect this bill would come out later on today. It already did after I published a video earlier this morning. This bill came out. Well, the good news is that this is a bipartisan stimulus proposal. The other good news here is that this bipartisan stimulus package is not considered final. What is being reported as of right now is this bill is considered a foundation for negotiations. So that's good. Also, we got word that there will be 2 other stimulus proposals coming out as well. And I'll get to that after I address what is in this bipartisan stimulus proposal from these 9 senators. So, let's address what is in the stimulus proposal first, and then we can get into the other details that are slowly starting to come out on this Tuesday afternoon. So what's included in this 9 senator group? What's included in their bipartisan stimulus package? Well, it's for $908 billion. It has not been discussed, it has not been mentioned or reported whether this $908 billion stimulus package takes the $455 billion that Steve Mnuchin requested back from the Federal Reserve. We have no clue if it's going to reallocate that money. We don't know that. But this is for $908 billion. This will include $288 billion for PPP funding for small businesses. This also is including the EIDL loan. That was that $1,000 free grant that small businesses could get. It also includes $180 billion for additional unemployment benefits, $160 billion for state and local government funding. As far as the unemployment benefits, we don't know if it's going to be for $300, $400, $500, or $600, and how long it's going to go. That's all information we don't know yet. It also includes $82 billion for education, $45 billion for transportation. This includes airlines, buses, and even transit. There's $35 billion for healthcare, $26 billion for nutrition. This is great. This is food assistance, and also agriculture. There's also $25 billion for housing assistance, which is rental assistance. That is, and I'll get to that in a minute, but that's a little bit short. We also have $16 billion for vaccine distribution and also testing and tracing. $12 billion for community lender support, $10 billion for the United States Postal Service, $10 billion for childcare, $10 billion for broadband, $5 billion for opioid treatment, and $4 billion for student loans. As far as how that gets distributed, we don't know. And there's also a provision in here for short-term federal protection from COVID-related lawsuits until states can develop their own response. The federal government is saying, we do not want part of this. Let's put that on the states. So we'll see. Now, you just saw what was in here. You read along with me. The problem is there's no stimulus checks. Why? Why is there no stimulus checks? We mentioned this the other day. We also mentioned this earlier this morning. There has to be balance. If there's money for businesses, there has to be money for the people, or else the people will not go to those businesses to buy their product, pay for their service. It's just not going to happen. Just because you provide businesses with funding does not mean the people that go to those businesses have the money to buy their products or their services. So you have to have balance. This is what makes absolutely no sense. If you provide businesses with funding, what's going to happen if the people do not have any money to go to those businesses is that the government has to keep providing that business with funding to keep them afloat until the money flows through the economy, eventually lands in the people's pockets, and then they can go to that business. Which makes absolutely no sense. They're going about this the completely wrong way. Yeah, I'm no economist. Okay? I'm no financial guru. I just know what it takes to keep a business afloat. And getting money from the federal government every single month is not the best way to do it. So we need stimulus checks. Now, there's also reports that the amount of funding for rental assistance is less than half of what is currently needed. Based on what one report is saying that came out earlier today is if rental assistance is $25 billion, $50 billion, what they're saying right now is we need at least $60 to $75 billion to provide landlords with their back rent. But what the report is saying is that most likely the federal government is going to step in and say, okay, we'll provide rental assistance, but the only way you can get it as a landlord is you have to take a 50% haircut, tax cut, or not tax cut, but just cut. We're going to pay you 50% of what you're actually owed. So you're going to get half of what you normally get if you're a landlord. You get $1,000 a month and they're behind by 6 months. They should owe you $6,000. But if you take the federal rental assistance, you'll get $3,000. So we'll see what happens there. Also, the $82 billion for education is actually not enough money to get all the schools open this year. The $82 billion, what this is looking like is they are anticipating schools, the majority of schools will just be closed down for in-person learning for all of 2020, in the 2020-2021 calendar year. Except for when coming next fall, people will go back to school. Hopefully they'll be vaccinated. Hopefully the virus will be, slowly dying. That's what the $82 billion is supposedly going to be for. Also, Nancy Pelosi will most likely reject this proposal simply for the fact that there's only $160 billion for state and local government funding. Right now, what is being reported is that for Nancy Pelosi to accept $160 billion when she turned down $300 billion from the Trump administration right before the election, if she accepts this, this is going to look like a complete loss, a huge loss for Nancy Pelosi. And some Democrats are saying, if Nancy Pelosi accepts a smaller stimulus package now, after she turned down $1.88 trillion, they would be calling for her seat. They would not want her to continue as a Speaker of the House. So again, this would be a huge loss for Nancy Pelosi. I don't think this is going to happen. Just want to put that out there. But this is just one of the 3 proposals that are supposed to be coming out. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are supposed to be releasing a new stimulus proposal at some point. Chuck Schumer just said moments ago, I just got done watching his press conference, he told us just a little bit ago that he will not divulge the information that was inside this private letter to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. But they provided him with a letter yesterday to Leader McConnell. They have not heard from him yet as to what his insights, what his expectations are from this. But Chuck Schumer did say that he is encouraging negotiation and encouraging Mitch McConnell to come to the table and let's pass a bipartisan stimulus package. Chuck Schumer said, it's a proposal to get things to move forward. It's not a proposal saying take it or leave it. It's just a proposal to say, hey, here's where we're at. Let's try to move forward and pass a bipartisan stimulus package. Again, this letter was sent yesterday, and as of right now, as of shooting this video, we have no information from Mitch McConnell as to whether or not he is going to respond to this letter or not. Also, Chuck Schumer did say, and we know this from multiple sources, is that sometime soon, Mitch McConnell and the Trump administration, which would be President Trump, most likely Steve Mnuchin, will be providing a new stimulus proposal as well. What's in this proposal, we don't know this yet. We don't have this information. It has not been revealed to the public, but we do know that it will happen. Reports are saying that McConnell's stimulus package will most likely be coming out sometime later on this week. So we will see. Also, sometime this afternoon, Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi, they could already be talking. They could already be working on an agreement. We don't know. But sometime this afternoon, Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin are expected to get on a call together. This is big. This is big news. I say this is big because these two have not been on a call together since prior to the November 3rd election. Prior to the election, that's about a month away. We were about a month removed from the November 3rd election. It's been a while. So, it's been about a month. They're going to get on a call together. This call, just to warn you guys, is mainly going to be to discuss the government funding bill, not stimulus. That's the main goal, is to provide some context to get some questions answered for the government funding bill that expires on December 11th in 10 days. So it's their goal, based on what Steve Mnuchin has stated. His goal is to, let's first address the government funding bill, and then hopefully we get in some talks regarding COVID relief. So that's what we know right now. Again, this is good news, considering they haven't spoken to each other in over a month, or in just about a month. Now, the time to pass something is now. Everybody agrees, let's get something done, even if it's not everything. Even if it's not everything. Let's get something done. Let's get something done now. Let's pass a little bit now, and we will come back to the table in a month or 2 months, and we'll work on more COVID relief. The American people need it. We haven't done anything to deserve this, and Congress needs to step up. This morning, Joe Biden stated he wants to see Congress come together and pass a robust stimulus package now. However, he says, hopefully this is what we see, but then again, we just don't know. Pretty much what he's meaning by this is, let's get Congress to come together. Pass a robust stimulus package. Hopefully this is what we will see out of Congress. They will come together, they'll pass something. But again, even him himself is saying, at this point, we just don't know. Trying to get the leaders to come together, because Joe Biden has really nothing to do with any of this other than the fact that he is most likely going to be the president of the United States come January 20th. So as of right now, all he's doing is advising Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer as to how to negotiate this deal. That's all he's doing. He's not signing anything. He's not going to vote on anything. It's not up to him. It's not up to him. It comes down to Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and President Trump. And that's where we're currently having issues. Now, right now reports are stating that roughly 800 businesses per day are closing. 800 businesses. This is actually up. This is up from where we once were, especially back in the summer. Now, this is one of the reasons why PPP funding for these small businesses is so important at this point. Also, stimulus checks, like I said earlier, stimulus checks are needed in order to keep these businesses funded without the government having to step in every single month to give these businesses another check. So, right now, all I can tell you is that it's going to be a difficult winter if we do not see any additional stimulus. But this is what we know right now regarding stimulus, regarding these three proposals. If later on this afternoon we get more information on what's coming out, what we're hearing, I promise I'll come back and fill you in on all those updates as well. Just want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoy these daily updates, and I'll see you guys on the next one.